Hey, it's Lynn Brown. I'm a speaker, trainer, and coach with the John Maxwell team. In the first half of my life, I spent people pleasing. And then in my spare time, I was trapped by the opinions of other people. I mean, honestly, y'all, it was more like living in a mental prison. And then one day I took a step in the direction of my dreams. And I started to change the way that I thought about things. And I started to change the way I looked at things. And it's so interesting because when I did that, the things that I looked at changed and the things that I was thinking about began to change. Now I'm committed to the rest of my life to partnering with people who want to become better. Be the best version of you. So today we're going to take a closer look at that small gap between thinking and acting. I mean, what are you thinking about? Right now, you're probably thinking about a million different things. I think human beings are fascinating. I love the study of human behavior. And honestly, we're so much more alike than we are different. Now, we all have similar traits. Now, some are more pronounced and more obvious than others. One thing we all have in common this time of year, for the most part, people have a goal or a thought of improving their health, maybe eating healthier. It always starts with that new year, when the new year rolls over. So let's just pretend that that's your goal for the year. I don't know that it is, but let's pretend that it is. And you get a text from your friend to meet you at the gym today to play handball or to play racquetball. What would you say? What would your response time be? And what would you say? Sounds great. Immediately text him back. Or would you say, oh, I need to get a better racket? Or let me think about it. I'll get back with you before 5 o'clock. Whatever the thing is. Or would you say, oh, I'm way too out of shape to do that? The length of the time for the response often determines the response or outcome. I heard the most amazing story not long ago of an athlete who had overcome great obstacles and actually ended up being the state champion handball player. This game serves as a great example, so I'm just going to go with it. But he was talking about that gap of time in decision making. It's the same gap that makes you hit the snooze button in the morning instead of just jumping out of bed like a rocket, like my friend or mentor Mel Robbins likes to say. The same gap that convinces you to reach in the chip bag again or swipe the credit card again. The sports reporters were amazed by the success of this young athlete. How could you have possibly beaten all your opponents? He said it was easy. I only had one choice. I could only make one choice because he only had one hand. I know you're thinking, what? I was too the first time I heard this, but it makes sense. He said the time it took his opponent to decide which hand to use, he had already moved into action, seconds before his opponent had ever even begun to hit the ball back. Now, for whatever reason, there are messages that have been passed down to us. There are things that have been said to us, some of them by well-meaning people. There are stories that have been passed down, and there are messages that we have played over and over in our brain. We've created these stories for ourselves that are directly related to the results that we're achieving in our life. And so you're like, well, Lynn, great. Now what do I do? But y'all, you can break through these bogus stories. I'm living proof. I cannot tell you, if we had time today, I could tell you numerous stories and give you examples of things that I have had to break through, work through in my life. Now, work is the key word here because for a long time I just wished it would go away, but it wouldn't. I had to work. And I've begun creating new thoughts. But it takes intentional practice and intentional work. A lot of my coaching clients, they start out, in the first few sessions, they're like, well, maybe I ask a question just to kind of to drill down to, to what we really need to talk about. And a lot of times they say, well, I don't know. Whatever the thing is, it's not that we don't know, because really all the answers are within us. The answers lie within. Most of the time in our life, we will look around and we will have gone around the mountain, come back and realize the treasure that we were seeking was in our own backyard. And oftentimes, the places that we are most fearful of, they give an example, the cave that you're afraid to enter holds the treasure that you seek. So it's not that we don't know, it's just that we're not willing. I know. It's early on in the first, brand new decade, the 1st of January, and here we are already thinking about, these areas of our lives that are going to take work and struggle. And some of us, I am, I'm ready for it. But some people might just be still getting over the holidays, trying to decide how they're going to get rid of all the chocolate in their house. But I'll be honest, up until 5 years ago, I was stuck here. I was stuck in this status quo, getting average results in my life. And honestly, I was just trapped in the comfort zone. But I didn't know what I didn't know. I did not realize I had believed the lie. I had believed the bogus stories. I had convinced myself that, honestly, just to shuck it on down to the cob, as we say, I just really felt like I wasn't smart enough. I felt like I didn't have enough money financially, and I wasn't creative enough. I really was beginning to wonder if my dreams were going to actually ever come true. I was just stuck in a toxic environment. I mean, I had a master's degree, but I had convinced myself that I just needed to settle for less and just be happy, have so much to be thankful for, have running water. I mean, we live better than so many people across the world. But then that one day that I was willing to bet on myself, that I stepped out and I invested in myself and I bet on me for the first time. And during this last 5 years, I mean, honestly, everybody I'm surrounded by is bigger, faster, and stronger than me. I'm telling you, I am still drinking from the fire hose. I've learned so much, and I'm continuing to learn, and it's daily. Sometimes I have to redirect my thoughts 10 times in the same minute. And don't get me wrong, I was raised in a very positive home. I heard positive things. I heard that our words have power. I was raised in a Christian home. But I had to literally retrain my brain. Habits are powerful. Just recently, we replaced the lighting in our closet. And y'all, it literally took me 2 weeks to stop trying to turn the light on from the old light fixture. Now just think about that for a minute. Have you ever had to try to break a habit? Try to think for a second of a habit that you've had to try to break. Every day I walk in my closet multiple times a day. Sometimes the light would be on and I would still walk over to where the old light fixture was to turn the light off. I finally removed the old light from the closet, and that really helped. But it was a struggle. What automatic responses and thoughts do you need to remove and replace? I mean, totally remove from your mind, just like I had to remove that old light fixture from my closet. And I wish I could come and do it for you, but I hate to say it. And y'all, I love you, I support you, I care about you, but here's the truth. Nobody's coming. There are no fairies. There are no magic wands. It's not happening. There's not going to be this long line of people, lining the runways of your life, cheering you on. Now, you can get in very supportive environments, and I would definitely recommend it. Look at who your inner circle is. Make sure you're in a community of people who want you to excel. But you have to think about this. You have to think, you think about things all the time. You think about asking a friend to lunch. You think about doing something nice for somebody. You think about taking a pottery class or losing the baby weight. I did that for years and years and years until I finally did it this past year. You think about painting the house. But y'all, we are products of our very best thinking. pretty much I could end it right there with that. We are products of our very best thinking. The data doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. Leggings don't lie. Children don't lie. And for the most part, drunks don't lie. I know it hacks me off too, but it's true. What if you focused on what you could do today? Just right where you are. Stop focusing on all the things you cannot do. I just dare you. I just double dog dare you to just sit still for a minute, whatever you're doing, unless you're driving. When you get home, I don't know, wherever you are, just find a place and sit still and think, what could I do? Something's going to pop into your awareness. And you can start today, no matter what time it is. You can begin today to create a new habit. Maybe it's to drink 64 ounces of water every day. And for Christmas, I got a huge, giant pink jug that I fill up every morning, and I drink it, make sure it's gone every day. Since April the 13th, I've made my bed every day, and that was not the case before. Okay, go ahead, judge me, but I didn't make my bed every day. But on April 13th, I decided when my son left for officer training, I thought I was pretending, I'm going to be a Navy SEAL, haha. But you get what I'm saying. I've created a new habit. Now, there are tons of habits I'm still working on, but the point is, don't get caught up in the thinking trap. Remember the example of the handball player. The guy with one arm ended up winning the state championship because he didn't have time to get stuck in indecision. That 5-second gap of just that wasteland of going back and forth. You know what I'm talking about. And so many times we spend so much time there, we talk ourselves out of doing anything. Nothing will ever change until something changes. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. You were created to do, be, and have more. No, it doesn't mean that that we're trying to become materialistic, self-centered, spoiled brats. No. But we are created in the image of a perfect God. That's if you are of the Christian faith. But whatever you believe in, you are a masterpiece. You are created for greatness. And I had to get up one day off that mat, and I had to face my fears. And I had to bet on me, and I had to get really uncomfortable. And honestly, I've been uncomfortable for a long time now. But at the same time, I have more joy than I've ever had. So I just, I've learned to ask for help. I've increased my ability to be vulnerable. And that is not a weakness. It takes courage. There's nothing great that's ever accomplished on the face of this earth without courage. You ask somebody in a military unit on a field why they're out there and why they do what they do for their brothers and sisters out there. It takes courage. It takes grit to change. It takes being a gritty woman. Remember, gritty's the new pretty. We have to be G, number 1, full of gratitude. R is for resilience. We have to inspire ourselves to inspire others. We have to think for ourselves. The other T in gritty is to be tough. This is not for wimps. And the Y in gritty is for you. You be you. Let's make 2020 our grittiest year ever. You got this. I believe in you and I love you. But don't forget now, you think about something you can do today. What new habit can you begin creating today? Until next week, go get gritty and take a step in the direction of your dream. I believe in you. Bye-bye.